Before we enter into this prayer together, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel so these night prayers can find you whenever your heart needs them most. And if someone you love is carrying heavy things tonight, would you share this with them so they know they're not alone in the quiet hours when the weight feels heaviest? Tonight, as the world outside your window settles into stillness and the last of the daylight fades into that soft purple darkness that wraps itself around everything, I want you to know that your heart is allowed to be tired. You are allowed to sit here in this moment and feel the full weight of everything you've been carrying, all the things you've held together today, all the worries you've pushed down so you could keep moving forward, all the emotions you didn't have time to feel because there were too many other things demanding your attention. Your heart is tired tonight, and that's okay. You don't have to explain it away or minimize it or tell yourself you should be stronger than this. The exhaustion you feel right now, the heaviness pressing against your chest, the weariness that has settled into your bones, it's all real and it all matters, and you are not weak for feeling it. You've been strong for so long. You've been the one holding things together, the one everyone depends on, the one who keeps showing up even when you're running on empty. You've smiled through your own pain because someone else needed you to be okay. You've carried conversations and responsibilities and emotional weight that wasn't even yours to carry, and you've done it without complaining, without asking for recognition, without expecting anyone to notice how much it was costing you. But tonight, in this quiet moment when it's just you and the dim light and the stillness pressing in around you, your heart is whispering that it's tired. It's whispering that it needs rest. It's whispering that it can't carry all of this alone anymore. And God hears that whisper. He hears it in the way your breathing changes when you finally sit down after a long day. He hears it in the thoughts that circle through your mind as you lie in bed, the ones that won't quiet down no matter how exhausted you are. He hears it in the tears you've been holding back, in the sighs you breathe out when no one else is listening, in the prayers you can barely form because you don't even know what to ask for anymore. He hears every unspoken word, every silent cry, every moment when you've wondered if anyone sees how hard you're trying to keep it all together. And tonight, he wants you to know that he sees you. He sees the tiredness you're carrying. He sees the burdens you've been holding. He sees the weight that has become too heavy for your heart to bear alone. There is something sacred about this moment, about the way the darkness softens everything and makes room for truth. In the daylight, you can keep moving, keep functioning, keep managing, but here in the quiet of night, when there are no more distractions to occupy your mind, the tiredness rises to the surface. The worries become louder, the fears feel more real, the loneliness settles in deeper. And maybe you've been sitting here feeling like you should be able to handle this better, like you should be able to pray it away, or think positively enough to make it disappear, but your heart is just so tired, and you don't know how to carry it all into tomorrow. That's when God steps into the room, steps into, not with noise or fanfare, not with demands or expectations, but with the gentlest presence, like warm light filtering through a doorway, soft and golden and unhurried. He comes into your space tonight, not to ask anything of you, not to add one more thing to your already full heart, but simply to be with you in your tiredness. He comes to sit beside you in the stillness, to meet you right where you are, in all your exhaustion and uncertainty and weariness, and to whisper words that your heart has been aching to hear. I see you. I know how tired you are, and I am here to carry what you cannot carry anymore. So let's pray together now. You and I and the God who daily bears our burdens, the one who never grows weary, the one whose strength is made perfect in our weakness, the one who invites us to come to him when we are heavy laden so he can give us rest. Let's bring every tired thought, every heavy feeling, every burden that has made your heart ache today, and let's lay them down in his presence, because he is big enough to hold them all, and he loves you enough to carry them for you. Lord, I come before you tonight on behalf of this precious woman whose heart is tired, whose strength has been stretched so thin, whose spirit needs the kind of rest that only you can give. I ask you to meet her right here in this quiet moment, in this dimly lit space where she's finally stopped moving long enough to feel the full weight of everything she's been carrying. Would you step into this room with the tenderness of a father who sees his daughter struggling under a load that was never meant for her to bear alone? Would you bring your presence like a warm blanket that wraps around her weary soul, like gentle hands that steady her trembling heart, like a voice that speaks peace into all the chaos swirling through her mind? She is so tired, Lord, tired in ways that sleep alone cannot fix, tired from the constant effort of staying strong, of being responsible, of managing all the details and demands that fill her days, tired from worrying about things she cannot control, from carrying emotional weight that belongs to other people, from trying to be enough in a world that always seems to need more. Her heart has been working overtime, holding together pieces that keep threatening to fall apart. And tonight, she needs you to carry what she can no longer hold. She needs your strength because hers is depleted. She needs your peace because her mind won't stop racing. She needs your comfort because the ache in her chest has become too much to ignore. Lord, I pray that you would lift from her shoulders every burden she brought into this night. The worry about tomorrow that has been sitting heavy on her heart, would you take that from her right now and remind her that you hold tomorrow in your hands, that she doesn't have to figure it all out tonight, that your mercies are new every morning and you will give her exactly what she needs when she needs it. The anxiety about situations she cannot control, would you gently remove that weight and help her remember that you are sovereign over every circumstance, that nothing is happening outside of your awareness, that you are working even in the things that look uncertain or frightening from her limited perspective. Take from her, Lord, the exhaustion of trying to be strong enough, capable enough, put together enough for everyone who depends on her. Release her from the pressure she puts on herself to never falter, never fail, never let anyone down. Remind her that you never asked her to carry the weight of other people's expectations, that you never required her to be perfect or to have it all figured out. You only asked her to come to you when she is weary, to bring you her burdens, to let you be strong in her weakness. So right now, in this moment, would you give her permission to stop trying so hard, to stop striving, to stop pushing through on her own strength, and simply rest in yours? Lord, she has been so brave, but tonight she doesn't have to be brave anymore. She has been so responsible, but tonight she can let you be responsible for the things that are beyond her control. She has been so strong for so long, but tonight she can be weak in your presence because your power is perfected in weakness, and you love to show up in the places where she has nothing left to give. So I pray that you would fill this room with such a tangible sense of your presence that she can almost feel you sitting beside her, almost hear you breathing steady and calm in the stillness, almost sense the way you are reaching out to take the heavy things from her trembling hands. Carry her worries about the people she loves, Lord, the ones who are struggling or hurting or making choices that break her heart. She has been holding them in her prayers, carrying them in her thoughts, losing sleep over their pain, and it has worn her down to a place of exhaustion. Would you remind her that you love them even more than she does, that your heart breaks for them in ways deeper than she can imagine, that you are pursuing them with a relentless grace she cannot manufacture on her own? Help her release them into your capable hands tonight, trusting that you are at work in their lives even when she cannot see evidence of it, believing that your timing is perfect even when it doesn't align with her desperate hopes for them. Take from her the burden of financial stress that keeps her awake at night, calculating and recalculating, wondering how she will make it all work, fearing that there will never be enough. You are the God who provides, the one who feeds the birds of the air and clothes the lilies of the field, and you have promised that you will take care of your children. So would you quiet her anxious thoughts about money and resources and needs, and would you give her a supernatural peace that trusts in your provision even when the numbers don't make sense, even when the path forward looks uncertain, even when she cannot see how it will all come together. You are her provider, Lord, and you have never once failed to take care of what concerns her. Lift from her heart, Lord, the weight of past mistakes and regrets that surface in the quiet hours of the night, the things she wishes she had done differently, the words she wishes she could take back, the choices that still haunt her even though years have passed. Would you remind her that your mercies are new every morning, that your grace is sufficient for every failure, that the blood of Jesus covers every sin and mistake and moment of weakness she has ever experienced? Help her receive your forgiveness tonight, in a way that goes deeper than intellectual understanding, in a way that actually releases her from the chains of guilt and shame, in a way that allows her to forgive herself because you have already forgiven her completely. Take from her, Father, the loneliness she feels even when she is surrounded by people, the sense that no one truly understands what she's going through, that no one sees the real struggle happening beneath the surface of her daily life. You see her, Lord. You know her more intimately than any person ever could. You understand the depths of her heart, the complexity of her emotions, the specific weight of her unique burdens, and you are with her tonight in this quiet room, closer than her own breath, more present than any human companionship could be. Would you make your presence so real to her right now that the loneliness begins to lift, that she senses she is not alone, that she knows in the deepest part of her being that you are here and you care and you will never leave her? Lord, I pray for her body tonight, for the physical exhaustion that has settled into her muscles and bones, for the tension she has been carrying in her shoulders and neck, for the headache that comes from too much worry and too little rest. Would you bring healing and relaxation to every part of her physical being? Release the tightness in her chest that comes from holding back tears. Ease the knot in her stomach that forms when anxiety takes hold. Calm the racing of her heart when fear threatens to overwhelm her. Remind her that she is not just a spirit floating through life, but a precious woman with a body that needs care and rest and gentleness, and that you care about her physical well-being as much as you care about her spiritual condition. Quiet her mind, Lord, the thoughts that won't stop spinning, the mental list that keeps growing, the conversations she keeps replaying, the scenarios she keeps imagining. Her mind has been working so hard, processing so much, trying to solve so many problems, and it needs rest. It needs the kind of peace that transcends understanding, the kind that doesn't make logical sense given her circumstances, but comes as a supernatural gift from your spirit. So would you bring that peace now, like a gentle hand smoothing out all the wrinkles in her thoughts, like a soft voice saying, "Be still," to the storm in her head, like a calming presence that makes room for rest, even in the middle of uncertainty. Carry for her, Father, the disappointments she has been holding, the dreams that didn't unfold the way she hoped, the prayers that haven't been answered yet, the plans that fell apart despite her best efforts. She has been trying to make sense of it all, trying to understand why things happened the way they did, trying to reconcile her faith with her reality, and it has been exhausting. Would you comfort her heart tonight with the reminder that your ways are higher than her ways, that your plans are better than her plans, that you are writing a story she cannot yet see the full scope of, and that nothing has been wasted, nothing has been lost, nothing is beyond your ability to redeem and restore and work together for good. Take from her the pressure of comparison, Lord, the weight of looking at other people's lives and feeling like she is falling short, like she is not measuring up, like she is somehow less than because her journey looks different. You created her uniquely, intentionally, with specific gifts and purposes and callings that are hers alone. Her path is not meant to look like anyone else's. Her timeline is not meant to match someone else's. Her struggles and victories and growth are all part of a story you are telling through her life, and it is beautiful exactly as it is, even in its messy middle chapters. Help her see herself the way you see her tonight, not through the lens of comparison or criticism, but through eyes of compassion and love and delight. Lord, I pray that you would carry her grief tonight, whether it is fresh and raw or whether it is old and lingering, the kind that surfaces unexpectedly and takes her breath away. The loss of people she loved, the death of relationships that once meant everything, the ending of chapters she never wanted to close. You are the God of all comfort, the one who collects her tears in a bottle, the one who sits with her in her sorrow without rushing her through it or minimizing her pain. So would you hold her heart with the tenderest care tonight, acknowledging every loss, honoring every tear, validating every ache, and slowly, gently beginning to bring the healing that only comes through your loving presence. Carry for her the fear of the future, Lord, the uncertainty about what is coming, the anxiety about whether she will be able to handle whatever lies ahead. She has been trying to prepare for every possible outcome, trying to protect herself from potential pain, trying to control what she cannot control, and it has drained her completely. Would you remind her that you go before her into every tomorrow, that you have already walked the path she has not yet reached, that you will never ask her to face anything without your presence and power and provision. She doesn't need to know how everything will work out. She just needs to know that you will be with her, and that is enough. Take from her tonight, Father, the weight of unspoken expectations, the burden of roles she never asked for but somehow inherited, the pressure to be everything to everyone without ever having space to acknowledge her own needs. You never designed her to be limitless. You created her with boundaries and limitations, and there is no shame in that. Would you give her permission tonight to be human, to have needs, to require rest, to say no to things that drain her beyond her capacity, to honor the finite nature of her energy and time and emotional resources? You are infinite, but she is not, and that was always your intention. Lord, I pray for the relationships that have been causing her stress, the people who have hurt her, the conflicts that remain unresolved, the conversations she dreads having, the connections that have become sources of pain rather than comfort. Would you bring your wisdom and peace into every relational tension she is carrying? Give her discernment about what to hold on to and what to release, about when to speak and when to remain silent, about how to set healthy boundaries without guilt, about how to love people well without losing herself in the process. And where there has been hurt or betrayal or misunderstanding, would you be the healer, the restorer, the one who brings reconciliation or the grace to move forward with peace? Carry her feelings of inadequacy tonight, Lord, the voice in her head that tells her she is not doing enough, not being enough, not enough in any category of her life. That voice is a liar, Father. It is not from you. Your voice speaks truth and life and love. Your voice says she is chosen, beloved, precious, valued, enough exactly as she is. So would you silence the condemning voice and amplify your truth in her heart. Remind her that her worth is not tied to her productivity or her performance or her ability to meet everyone's needs. Her worth is inherent, given by you the moment you created her, unchangeable, regardless of what she does or doesn't accomplish. Take from her the burden of perfectionism, Lord, the exhausting standard she holds herself to, the belief that she must get everything right or she has somehow failed. You never asked for perfection. You asked for surrender, for trust, for a willing heart. You use imperfect people to accomplish your purposes. You delight in showing your strength through human weakness. You love to take messy, broken, struggling people and weave their stories into something beautiful. So help her release the need to be flawless and instead embrace the freedom of being human, of making mistakes, of learning and growing and trying again, of resting in your grace rather than striving for an impossible standard. Lord, I pray that you would lift from her heart any bitterness or resentment she has been carrying toward people who have hurt her, towards circumstances that have disappointed her, toward you when she has wondered why you allowed difficult things to happen. These feelings are heavy, Father, and they poison her peace when she holds on to them. Would you help her begin the process of releasing them, not because the hurt wasn't real or because it doesn't matter, but because carrying resentment only adds to her burden without changing what happened? Give her the grace to forgive, the strength to let go, the wisdom to trust that you are a righteous judge who sees all and knows all and will make all things right in your perfect timing. Carry for her tonight the weight of health concerns, whether they are her own or belong to someone she loves, the fear that surfaces when the body doesn't function the way it should, the anxiety about test results and diagnoses and treatments. You are the great physician, Lord, the one who heals, the one who holds every cell and system of her body in your hands. Would you bring your healing power to bear on every area of sickness or pain or dysfunction? And even in the waiting, even in the uncertainty, even when healing doesn't come in the timeline or manner she hopes for, would you give her peace that trusts in your goodness, that believes you are with her in the suffering, that knows you will never waste her pain or abandon her in it? Take from her the burden of trying to understand everything, Lord, the mental exhaustion of needing answers to questions that may not have answers yet, of searching for reasons and explanations and logic in situations that simply don't make sense. You are infinite, and your understanding is beyond measure, and there are mysteries she will not comprehend this side of eternity. Would you give her the grace to live with unanswered questions, to trust you in the not knowing, to rest in your character even when she cannot understand your ways? She doesn't need to have it all figured out tonight. She just needs to trust that you do. Lord, carry her shame tonight, the secret things she has been hiding, the parts of herself she believes are too broken or too damaged for anyone to love, the mistakes she thinks have disqualified her from your grace. There is no shame in your presence, Father. You are the one who removes shame and replaces it with honor. You are the one who looks at her with eyes full of love and compassion and delight, not judgment or disappointment or condemnation. Would you help her see that nothing she has done or failed to do can separate her from your love, that your grace is truly sufficient for every weakness, that your mercy triumphs over judgment every single time? Take from her heart the fear of being a burden to others, the worry that she is asking too much or needing too much or taking up too much space in people's lives. You created human beings for connection and community, Lord, for bearing one another's burdens and supporting each other in times of need. It is not weakness to need help. It is not selfishness to have needs. It is part of being human, part of being in relationship, part of how your body of believers is meant to function. So would you release her from the lie that she must carry everything alone? And would you help her receive the love and support and care that others want to offer her? Carry for her tonight, Lord, the weariness of delayed promises, of waiting for breakthroughs that haven't come yet, of standing in faith when the evidence contradicts what she believes you have spoken to her heart. Your timing is perfect, even when it feels painfully slow. Your delays are never denials. You are working behind the scenes in ways she cannot perceive, arranging circumstances, preparing hearts, aligning timing, and when the moment is exactly right, you will move in ways that exceed her expectations. So would you strengthen her faith tonight, renew her hope, help her keep trusting even in the waiting, believing that what you have promised you are also faithful to perform. Take from her the exhaustion of trying to fix things that are beyond her ability to fix, the people she cannot change, the situations she cannot control, the problems she cannot solve no matter how hard she tries. She has been carrying responsibility for outcomes that were never hers to determine, and it has crushed her spirit. Would you help her surrender these things to you, releasing them from her grip, trusting that you are at work even when she cannot see progress, believing that you are capable of doing what she cannot do? Her job is not to fix everything. Her job is to trust you with everything. Lord, I pray that you would carry her weariness from emotional labor, from managing everyone else's feelings, from being the one who holds space for other people's pain while having nowhere to put her own. She has been pouring out without being filled up, giving without receiving, listening without being heard, and she is running on empty. Would you be the one who fills her tonight, who pours into her weary soul, who listens to every word she hasn't been able to speak out loud, who holds space for every emotion she has been stuffing down? You see her, you hear her, you care about what she is feeling, and you have room for all of it. Take from her the burden of impossible decisions she is facing, the choices that keep her awake at night, because every option seems to have consequences she cannot predict or control. You promise to give wisdom to those who ask, Lord, and she is asking for your wisdom now. Would you make the path clear, illuminate the next step, give her peace about which direction to take? And in the meantime, in the waiting for clarity, would you help her rest in the knowledge that you will guide her, that you will not let her miss your will for her life, that even if she makes a choice that turns out differently than she hoped, you are big enough to work through it and redirect her back to your best plans for her. Carry her disappointment with herself, Lord, the ways she feels she has fallen short, the goals she hasn't reached, the person she thought she would be by now but isn't yet. You are not disappointed in her, Father. You see her progress. You celebrate her growth. You recognize every small step forward, even when she can only see how far she still has to go. Would you help her extend to herself the same grace and compassion that you extend to her so freely? Help her see that she is doing better than she thinks she is, that growth is happening even when it feels slow, that you are pleased with her not because she is perfect, but because she is yours. Take from her tonight the weight of unexpressed needs, the things she has been too afraid to ask for, too embarrassed to admit she wants, too scared of rejection to voice out loud. You already know what she needs before she asks, Lord, but you still invite her to bring her requests to you, to make her needs known, to trust that you care about even the smallest details of her life. So would you help her open her heart fully to you right now, holding nothing back, trusting that there is nothing too small to bring to you, nothing too silly or insignificant or selfish. You want to hear it all, and you are able to meet her in her needs in ways that will surprise and delight her. Lord, carry her feelings of being overwhelmed by the sheer volume of demands on her time and energy, the sense that there are more hours of work than there are hours in the day, more needs than she has resources to meet, more responsibilities than one person should have to manage. Would you help her prioritize with wisdom, saying yes to what is truly important and no to what is not, even when it feels hard or disappointing to others? You have given her 24 hours in each day, and that is enough time for everything you have called her to do. Anything beyond that is not from you, and she has permission to release it. Take from her the anxiety about things she cannot see coming, the fear of unexpected disasters, the worry about worst-case scenarios that may never happen. You are with her in every circumstance, Lord, not just in the ones she can predict or prepare for. Your grace is sufficient for whatever comes, and it will be there exactly when she needs it, not a moment too soon or too late. She doesn't need to carry the weight of hypothetical futures tonight. She just needs to rest in your presence, right here, right now, trusting that you hold tomorrow, and she doesn't have to. Lord, I pray that you would lift from her any sense of spiritual inadequacy, the feeling that her faith isn't strong enough, her prayers aren't powerful enough, her relationship with you isn't deep enough. You don't measure her worth by her spiritual performance, Father. You love her completely and unconditionally, exactly where she is right now in her journey with you. Her tired prayers are heard just as clearly as eloquent prayers. Her weak faith is still precious to you. Her stumbling steps toward you are celebrated in heaven. Would you help her receive your love tonight without striving for it, without earning it, simply resting in the truth that she is your beloved daughter and nothing can change that? Carry for her the weight of transitions she is walking through, the endings and beginnings that are stirring up so much emotion, the letting go of what was and the stepping into what will be. Change is hard, Lord, even when it is good change, even when it is leading her somewhere better. Would you steady her heart in the midst of uncertainty. Anchor her to your unchanging nature when everything around her feels unstable. Remind her that you are the same yesterday, today, and forever, and that you are walking through this transition with her every step of the way. Take from her tonight the burden of trying to live up to an image, of maintaining appearances, of looking like she has it all together when she feels like she is falling apart on the inside. You see the real her, Lord, the unfiltered, unedited, messy reality of her inner world, and you love every bit of it. You are not asking her to be anything other than exactly who she is. Would you give her the freedom to be authentic, to be honest about her struggles, to stop pretending and start living from a place of truth, knowing that she is safe with you, that you will never reject her for being real? Lord, carry her fear about her own limitations, the awareness that she is getting older, that her energy is not what it used to be, that she cannot do as much as she once could. Aging is not failure, Father. It is part of the natural process you designed, and even as her physical strength may decrease, you promise to renew her inwardly day by day. Would you help her embrace this season of life with grace, honoring the wisdom and perspective she has gained through years of experience, trusting that you have purpose for her in every stage and season, that her value is not diminished by changes in her capacity or productivity. Take from her the weight of trauma she has been carrying, the wounds from the past that still affect her present, the pain that resurfaces unexpectedly and makes it hard to function. You are near to the broken-hearted, Lord, and you bind up their wounds. You do not rush the healing process or minimize the depth of damage that has been done. Would you be gentle with her heart tonight, acknowledging the real impact of what she has survived, honoring the strength it has taken to keep going, and beginning the deep work of restoration that only you can accomplish? Healing is a journey, not an event, and you will walk every step of it with her. Lord, carry her fear of abandonment, the deep-seated worry that people will leave, that she will end up alone, that she is too much or not enough to keep anyone's love and commitment. You will never leave her or forsake her, Father. Your love is not conditional or temporary or dependent on her performance. You are with her in this moment, and you will be with her in every moment that follows, through every circumstance and season and change. Would you help her rest in the security of your unfailing love tonight, allowing it to calm the anxious places in her heart that fear being left behind? Take from her tonight the pressure of needing to have answers for people who are questioning their faith, who are looking to her for explanations she doesn't have, for certainty she doesn't feel. She is not responsible for defending you, Lord. She is not required to have every answer. Her honest wrestling and genuine questions are more valuable than pretend certainty. Would you release her from the burden of thinking she must be strong enough in her faith for other people, and help her trust that you are big enough to handle their doubts and questions without needing her to be the intermediary? Lord, carry for her the exhaustion of invisible labor, all the things she does that no one notices or acknowledges or appreciates, the work that never shows up on a resume or gets recognition but keeps life running smoothly for everyone around her. You see it all, Father. Every load of laundry, every meal prepared, every detail managed, every emotional need anticipated and met. You notice what others overlook. You value what the world dismisses as unimportant. Would you remind her tonight that nothing done in love is ever wasted, that the small, faithful acts of service she performs daily matter deeply to you, that her life is making a difference even when no one else is paying attention? Take from her the anxiety about making other people comfortable, the exhausting work of managing her own behavior and words and facial expressions to avoid conflict or disapproval. You did not create her to walk on eggshells, Lord. You created her to walk in freedom, to be herself fully, to take up space without apologizing for existing. Would you help her release the need to please everyone, to control how others perceive her, to make herself smaller, to accommodate other people's preferences? She is allowed to be herself, fully and unapologetically, and the people who truly love her will love all of her, not just the convenient parts. Lord, I pray that you would carry her grief over lost time, over years that feel wasted, over opportunities that passed her by, over versions of herself she will never become because life took different turns than she expected. You redeem time, Father. You restore what the locusts have eaten. You take what was lost, and you create something beautiful from it. Would you help her stop looking back with regret and instead look forward with hope, trusting that you are making all things new, that it is never too late for new beginnings, that the best chapters of her story may still be ahead of her? Take from her tonight the burden of needing to be further along than she is, more healed, more whole, more mature, more stable. Growth happens gradually, Lord, often so slowly she cannot perceive it happening, but you see the progress. You celebrate each small victory. You recognize the ways she is different today than she was a year ago, even if she cannot see those changes clearly. Would you help her be patient with herself, trusting that you who began a good work in her will complete it, that she doesn't have to rush the process, process, that she can rest in your timing for her transformation. Lord, carry her heartache over people who have walked away, relationships that ended without closure, friendships that faded or fell apart. Some losses never fully make sense, Father. Some people leave without explanation, without resolution, without giving her a chance to understand what went wrong. Would you bring healing to those relational wounds, comfort to the parts of her heart that still ache with unanswered questions, peace that allows her to release people who have chosen to go, trusting that you have someone and something better prepared for her season ahead. Take from her the fear that she is running out of time, that her window of opportunity is closing, that the things she hoped for will never happen for her. Your timing is not linear, Lord. You are not bound by human schedules or earthly deadlines. What you have ordained for her life will come to pass, not a day too early or too late. Would you help her trust your timing even when it looks nothing like what she imagined, even when she feels like she is falling behind, even when everyone around her seems to be getting the things she has been waiting for? Your plans for her are good and your timing is perfect. Lord, I pray that you would carry her fear of being too needy, too emotional, too sensitive, too much in every way. You created her with her specific temperament and personality, with her capacity to feel deeply and love fully and care passionately. These are not flaws to be fixed, Father. They are beautiful expressions of how you designed her. Would you help her embrace the fullness of who she is without apologizing for it, without trying to tone herself down or make herself more palatable to people who cannot handle her intensity? She is exactly who you intended her to be, and that is more than enough. Take from her tonight the weight of worrying about what might happen to the people she loves if something happens to her, the anxiety about who would take care of them, how they would manage, whether they would be okay. You love them even more than she does, Lord. You have plans for their lives that do not depend on her presence or her efforts. Would you help her trust that you are their provider and protector, that you will take care of them with or without her, that she can release them into your capable hands and rest in the knowledge that they belong to you first. Lord, carry for her the burden of comparison in her spiritual life, the feeling that she should be praying more, reading her Bible more, serving more, growing faster than she is. You are not comparing her to anyone else, Father. You see her unique journey, her specific struggles, her individual pace of growth, and you are pleased with her progress. Would you silence the voice of condemnation that tells her she is not enough spiritually, and help her hear your voice of love that says she is beloved, accepted, and cherished exactly where she is in her walk with you? Take from her the exhaustion of trying to maintain positivity when she doesn't feel positive, of having to put on a happy face when her heart is heavy, of being strong for others when she needs someone to be strong for her. You can handle her real emotions, Lord. You are not afraid of her darkness, her anger, her doubts, her questions, her complaints. Would you give her permission to bring you all of it tonight, the messy and the difficult and the uncomfortable, trusting that you love her enough to sit with her in it, that you will not reject her for being honest about how hard things are right now? Lord, I pray that you would lift from her heart the weight of decisions she made in the past that she wishes she could undo, paths she took that led to painful consequences, choices that still haunt her, even though time has passed. What is done, Father, and she cannot go back and change it, but you can redeem it. You can work through it. You can bring beauty from ashes and joy from mourning. Would you help her stop punishing herself for being human, for making mistakes, for not knowing then what she knows now, and instead help her extend grace to her younger self, forgiveness to her past choices, and trust that you have been weaving even her missteps into a story of redemption. Carry her tonight, Lord, when the silence of the house feels too heavy, when the absence of someone she loves creates an ache that won't go away, when the loneliness becomes almost unbearable in these quiet hours. You are Emmanuel, God with us, and you are here in the silence with her. Would you make your presence more real to her than the emptiness, more tangible than the loneliness, more comforting than any human companionship could be? Fill the quiet spaces with your peace. Fill the empty places with your love. Fill her aching heart with the assurance that she is never, ever alone. Take from her the burden of needing to appear strong in her faith when she is actually struggling, when she is questioning, when she is barely holding on to belief by a thread. You are not threatened by her doubts, Lord. You are not disappointed by her questions. You are not shaken by her uncertainty. Would you meet her in the midst of her struggle and hold her faith for her when she cannot hold it herself? You are faithful even when she feels faithless. You are steady even when she is wavering. You are true even when truth feels far away. Help her rest in your faithfulness tonight rather than her own. Lord, carry the weight of expectations she is carrying for how her life should look by now, the dreams that haven't materialized, the milestones she hasn't reached, the life she imagined that looks nothing like her current reality. Your plans are different from her plans, Father, but they are infinitely better. What you have for her is worth the wait, worth the detours, worth the unexpected path. Would you help her release her grip on how she thought things should be and open her hands to receive what you have for her, trusting that your way is always the best way, even when it doesn't make sense from her limited perspective? Take from her tonight the anxiety about whether she is doing enough for the people who need her, whether she is showing up well enough, whether she is making the right impact. You have called her to faithfulness, Lord, not to perfection. You have called her to love, not to save everyone. You have called her to steward what you have given her, not to carry the weight of outcomes that belong to you. Would you help her rest in the knowledge that she is doing enough, that her presence matters, that her love is making a difference even when she cannot measure or quantify it? Lord, I pray that you would carry her fear about her own mental health, the worry that something might be wrong with her mind or emotions, the shame she feels when she cannot control her thoughts or feelings the way she thinks she should. You created her as a whole person, Father, body and soul and spirit all connected, and you care about every aspect of her well-being. Would you bring healing to her mind, stability to her emotions, and peace to her spirit? And would you remove any shame associated with struggling, reminding her that needing help is not weakness, that mental and emotional challenges are not spiritual failures, that you meet her in her struggles with compassion and grace? Carry for her the exhaustion that comes from constantly being vigilant, from always scanning for danger, from never feeling fully safe, to relax and let her guard down. Whether this comes from past trauma or present threats, it has worn her out, Lord. Would you be her protector tonight, her fortress, her shield, her strong tower? Help her rest in your covering, knowing that you are watching over her, that she doesn't have to stay alert because you never sleep or slumber, that she can close her eyes tonight and trust that you have her safe in your hands. Take from her the burden of trying to earn her place in people's lives, of feeling like she has to prove her worth, of working constantly to maintain relationships out of fear that people will leave if she stops performing. True love does not require her to earn it, Lord. Your love certainly doesn't. Would you help her understand that she is valuable simply because she exists, not because of what she does or provides or contributes? Help her rest in being rather than doing, in receiving love rather than earning it, in trusting that the people who truly belong in her life will stay without her having to work so hard to keep them. Lord, carry her fear about whether she is a good enough mother, daughter, wife, friend, sister, whether she is failing the people she loves in ways she cannot see or fix. You know her heart, Father. You see the love she pours out even when it feels inadequate. You recognize every sacrifice she makes, every effort she extends, every moment she chooses to show up even when it costs her. Would you help her trust that love covers a multitude of mistakes, that her people know she loves them even when she gets it wrong, that she is doing better than the condemning voice in her head would have her believe? Take from her tonight the heaviness of caring about things other people have stopped caring about, of carrying burdens that others have set down, of feeling responsible for outcomes that no one else seems to worry about. You have given her a tender heart, Lord, a compassionate spirit, a soul that feels deeply, but you have not asked her to carry the weight of the whole world. Would you help her discern what is hers to carry and what she needs to release, what requires her attention and what she can entrust to you, where her care is making a difference and where it is only draining her without changing anything? Lord, I pray that you would lift from her the weight of anticipatory grief, the sorrow she feels about future losses she knows are coming, the pain of watching people she loves decline or suffer or move toward inevitable endings. These burdens are heavy because they involve both present love and future loss at the same time. Would you help her be present in this moment rather than borrowing sorrow from tomorrow? Help her cherish what she still has, rather than mourning what she will eventually lose. And remind her that you will be there in those future moments too, that your grace will meet her exactly when she needs it, that she doesn't have to carry tomorrow's grief in tonight's heart. Carry for her the confusion about what she is supposed to do with her life, the nagging sense that there is something more she should be pursuing, some purpose she is missing, some calling she has not discovered yet. You have a plan for her life, Lord, and she cannot miss it by accident. You are not playing hide and seek with your will for her? Would you help her trust that as she walks closely with you, taking the next right step in front of her, you are guiding her path, even when it doesn't feel like she is heading toward any grand destination? Faithfulness in the ordinary moments is often how you prepare her for the extraordinary purposes you have in mind. Take from her tonight the burden of financial stress that feels never ending, the fear that she will never get ahead, that something will always come up to drain her resources, that she is one emergency away from disaster. You are Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides, and you have promised to supply all her needs according to your riches in glory. Would you calm her anxious thoughts about money, give her wisdom for managing what she has, and provide for her in ways that demonstrate your faithfulness and care? Help her remember that you own the cattle on 1,000 hills, that your resources are unlimited, that you care about every practical detail of her life. Lord, carry her feelings of inadequacy in relationships, the fear that she is not interesting enough, deep enough, fun enough, supportive enough to be the kind of friend or partner people want. You have made her exactly who she is for a reason, Father. The right people will love her not despite who she is, but because of who she is. Would you help her stop trying to be someone different to earn love and acceptance, and instead rest in being authentically herself, trusting that the people you have for her will appreciate and value her exactly as she is? Take from her the weight of caring too much what people think, of replaying conversations over and over wondering if she said the right thing, of obsessing about how she came across or what impression she made. You are the only audience that ultimately matters, Lord. Your opinion is the one that defines her worth. Would you help her live with freedom from the tyranny of other people's judgments, real or imagined, and instead find her security in how you see her, how you value her, how you delight in her? Lord, I pray that you would carry her anxiety about aging parents or loved ones who are struggling, the helplessness she feels watching them decline or suffer, the grief of role reversal when she becomes the caregiver for those who once cared for her. This is one of life's most difficult transitions, Father. Would you give her strength for the journey, wisdom for the decisions she has to make, patience for the challenges that arise, and grace to honor her loved ones well in this season? Help her find support and not try to carry this burden alone. Carry for her tonight the exhaustion of trying to create a life that looks good on social media, of curating an image that doesn't match her reality, of feeling pressured to present a highlight reel when she is living in the behind-the-scenes mess. You see her real life, Lord, and you love her in all its imperfect, messy, ordinary glory. Would you free her from the comparison trap, from the need to prove anything to anyone, from the exhausting work of maintaining appearances? Help her live authentically, sharing her real self with safe people, and releasing the need to impress anyone with a carefully edited version of her life. Take from her the burden of unresolved conflict that keeps her awake at night, conversations she needs to have but doesn't know how to start, apologies she needs to make or receive, boundaries she needs to set but fears the consequences of setting. You are the Prince of Peace, Lord, and you long to bring peace into every area of her life. Would you give her courage to have hard conversations, wisdom to know what to say and when to say it, and grace to navigate conflict in ways that honor you and honor the relationships involved? Lord, carry her sadness about dreams that died, hopes that didn't come true, prayers that were answered with no instead of yes. Disappointment is real, Father, and it leaves scars on the heart. Would you comfort her in those places of loss, help her grieve what she needed to grieve, and then gently turn her eyes toward new possibilities, new hopes, new dreams that you are even now placing in her heart? What you have ahead for her is better than what she left behind, even when it doesn't feel that way yet. Take from her tonight the pressure of trying to be positive and faithful and hopeful when life feels overwhelmingly difficult, when circumstances are genuinely hard, when there is no silver lining she can find. You can handle her honesty, Lord. You invite her to bring you her complaints, her frustrations, her anger, her despair. The psalmist did it. Job did it. Jesus himself cried out in anguish. Would you hold space for her to be real with you tonight about how hard things are, without trying to fix it or spiritualize it or find the lesson in it? Just sit with her in the hard place and let her know she is not alone there. Lord, I pray that you would carry the weight of responsibilities she never asked for but somehow ended up with, roles she inherited by default, burdens that fell to her because no one else would pick them up. You see how much she has taken on, Father. You know the cost of carrying all of this. Would you help her evaluate what is truly hers to carry and what she needs to set down, even if no one else picks it up? She is not responsible for everything and everyone. She is allowed to honor her own limitations and capacity. Carry for her the fear of being forgotten, of not mattering, of living a life that doesn't leave a mark or make a difference. You see her, Lord. You know her name. You have written her story in your book before a single day came to be. Her life matters not because of what she accomplishes or achieves, but because she is your beloved daughter, created in your image, precious beyond measure. Would you help her find her significance in your love, rather than in external validation or lasting legacy? Take from her tonight the burden of trying to keep everyone happy, of managing everyone's emotions, of being responsible for other people's peace. She is not God, Father. She cannot and should not try to be everyone's everything. Would you help her release people to their own emotions, their own processes, their own relationships with you? Help her love people well without losing herself in the process, without making herself responsible for their happiness or growth or well-being. Lord, carry her through the valley she is walking right now. Whatever dark place has become her current reality, you promise to be with her in the valley of the shadow of death, and that promise extends to every valley, every dark season, every difficult passage. Would you be her shepherd right now, guiding her through, protecting her from harm, bringing her to still waters and green pastures on the other side? She will not stay in this valley forever. There is light ahead, but for tonight, just be with her in the darkness. Take from her the anxiety about her children, whether they are young or grown, the worries about their choices, their safety, their futures, their faith. You love them even more than she does, Lord. You have plans for their lives. You are pursuing them with relentless grace. Would you help her trust you with them, release them into your hands, pray for them without carrying the weight of their outcomes? She is their mother, but you are their God, and your love for them is perfect and complete. Lord, I pray that you would lift from her the shame of past failures, of times she let people down, of moments she is not proud of versions of herself she wishes she could erase. You are in the business of redemption, Father. You take broken things and make them beautiful. You use flawed people to accomplish your purposes. Would you help her see that her past does not define her future, that her mistakes do not disqualify her from your love and plans, that you are writing a story of grace through her life? Carry for her tonight the exhaustion of pretending to be okay when she is not okay, of maintaining a brave face when she is falling apart inside, of being strong when she desperately needs someone to be strong for her. You are her strength, Lord. You are her refuge and fortress. She can be weak with you. She can fall apart in your presence. She can admit that she is not okay, and you will not reject her or judge her or tell her to try harder. Would you give her permission to be honest about her struggle, to stop performing strength she doesn't feel, to simply be held by you in her weakness? Take from her the burden of trying to pray the right way, say the right things, have the right spiritual disciplines. You hear the prayers she cannot form into words, Lord. You understand the groans that are too deep for language. Her exhausted heart lying here tonight is prayer enough. Would you help her release the pressure of performing spiritually and instead rest in relationship with you, knowing that you love her presence more than her performance, that you desire her heart more than her habits, that you meet her right where she is, even when where she is feels very far from where she thinks she should be? Lord, I ask that right now, in this very moment, you would do something supernatural in her heart. Would you take all the burdens we have named, and the ones too deep to articulate, and would you lift them from her shoulders as tangibly as if she could feel them physically being removed? Create in her an awareness that she is not carrying these things alone anymore, that you have stepped in to bear the weight, that her part right now is simply to rest while you carry what she cannot. Let her imagine right now placing each heavy thing into your hands, the worries about tomorrow, the regrets about yesterday, the fears about what might happen, the grief about what has happened. One by one, help her see herself handing them to you, releasing her grip, letting you take the weight. And as she does this, would you fill the space those burdens occupied with your peace, with your love, with your comfort, with your strength? Trade her ashes for beauty, her mourning for joy, her spirit of heaviness for a garment of praise. Lord, speak to her heart right now and tell her that she can rest. Tell her that everything is going to be okay, not because circumstances will magically improve overnight, but because you are with her in whatever comes, and your presence changes everything. Tell her that she is safe, that she is loved, that she is valued, that she is enough. Tell her that you are proud of her, that you see how hard she has been fighting, that you recognize her strength even in her weakness, that you delight in her even in her struggle. Quiet every voice in her head except yours tonight, Lord. Silence the accusations, the condemnations, the fears, the worries, the what-ifs, the should-haves. Let your voice be the one she hears, the voice that speaks truth and life and hope and love. Let your words sink deep into her weary soul and bring the healing she needs, the comfort she craves, the rest she is desperate for. Now, Father, I pray that you would bless her body with rest tonight. Let her muscles relax. Let the tension melt away from her shoulders and her neck and her back. Let her breathing slow and deepen. Let her mind quiet and still. Let sleep come easily and peacefully, and let her wake tomorrow feeling more refreshed than she has felt in a long time. Watch over her through the night. Send your angels to guard her. Let no nightmares disturb her sleep. Let her rest be deep and restorative and healing. Bless her mind with peace, Lord. Calm the racing thoughts. Organize the chaos. Bring clarity where there is confusion. Bring hope where there is despair. Bring light where there is darkness. Let her wake tomorrow with a fresh perspective, with renewed strength, with a sense that something has shifted, that the weight is lighter, that breathing is easier, that moving forward feels possible again. Bless her heart with comfort, Father. Heal the broken places, bind up the wounds, soothe the aches, fill the empty spaces, restore what has been damaged, renew what has grown weary. Remind her that she is loved beyond measure, valued beyond calculation, cherished beyond description. Let her heart rest tonight in the certainty of your unchanging love for her. Bless her spirit with hope, Lord. Remind her that this is not the end of her story, that the best chapters may still be ahead, that you are always working behind the scenes in ways she cannot see, that what you begin, you always finish, that your plans for her are good and full of hope and a future. Let her spirit rise up with expectation for what you are going to do, with confidence that you will be faithful, with trust that you are making all things work together for good. Bless her tomorrow, Father. Go before her into every moment, every conversation, every decision, every challenge. Give her wisdom for whatever she will face. Give her strength for whatever she will need to carry. Give her grace for whatever mistakes she might make. Give her patience for whatever frustrates her. Give her love for whoever crosses her path. Give her peace that transcends her circumstances. Make tomorrow easier than today. Make her stronger tomorrow than she is tonight. Make your presence more real tomorrow than it has ever been before. And when she wakes tomorrow morning, Lord, let the first thought in her mind be of your faithfulness. Let her remember that she made it through this night, that you carried her when she could not carry herself, that you heard this prayer and you answered it by being exactly who you have always been, a God who bears our burdens daily, a Father who loves his children with everlasting love, a shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one who is lost and afraid and alone. You are doing something in her life, Lord, something she cannot fully see yet. You are working, you are moving, you are arranging, you are preparing, you are transforming. And one day, she will look back at this season and she will see your fingerprints all over it. She will recognize the ways you were carrying her even when she felt most alone. She will understand the purpose in what now feels meaningless. She will be grateful for the strength you built in her through this difficulty. But for tonight, she doesn't need to see the whole picture. She just needs to rest in your arms. So carry her tonight, Lord. Carry her tired heart. Carry her heavy burdens. Carry her worried mind. Carry her exhausted body. Carry her aching spirit. Carry everything she cannot carry anymore. Be her strength when she has none left. Be her hope when she cannot find any. Be her peace when chaos surrounds her. Be her comfort when sorrow overwhelms her. Be her light when darkness closes in. Be everything she needs you to be, because you are more than enough, and in you she has everything she will ever need. Let her close her eyes now and rest, really rest, for the first time in a long time. Let her sink into this moment of peace you have created for her. Let her feel the weight lifting, the burden lightening, the tension releasing. Let her know, deep in the core of her being, that she is not alone, that she has never been alone, that you have been with her every single moment, even when she could not sense your presence. You are with her now. You will be with her tomorrow. You will be with her always, until the end of the age and beyond, into eternity, where there will be no more tears, no more pain, no more exhaustion, no more burdens, only joy and peace and rest in your presence forever. Thank you, Lord, for this precious woman, for her beautiful heart, for her tender spirit, for her faithful endurance, for her courageous vulnerability, for her willingness to keep going even when it's hard, for her trust in you even when she cannot see the way forward. Thank you for loving her perfectly, for knowing her completely, for accepting her unconditionally, for being everything she needs exactly when she needs it. Thank you for carrying her burdens tonight, and for the rest, you are giving her heart. In Jesus' name, we rest in your love and your care and your faithfulness. Amen.